Hi everyone! In this lesson, we will start to our installing operations with the required environment programs. First, I want to talk about the structure of our course in here again. In each section, we will first see the fundamental topics and then we will do our coding exercises, and as last, we will try to finish that section by doing our homework assignments. And we will try to understand the fundamental of Python subjects through the Jupyter notebook during the course. And we will try to do our coding examples through our development environment that we installed into our computer. So we will try to make our coding exercises through our computer. For this, we are going to use two versions of Python in our course. The first one is 3.6.1 that comes automatically with the Jupyter Notebook installation, and the second one is the 3.5.2 version that we will manually install. So why would we use two versions of Python? Why would we need to use these two versions? In fact, there is almost no difference between Python 3.5.2 and Python 3.6.1. However, some of the useful modules that you might download from the internet after the installation may cause problem when you are trying to install for version 3.6.1. For now, some of useful modules that you might want to use are incompatible with Python 3.6 versions, which is the latest versions of Python by now. So for this reason, we will try to install the Jupyter Notebook Python 3.6.1 and the other packages at once with Anaconda distributions in this section, and in the next lecture we will try to install version Python 3.5.2. Of course, we will try to install this 3.5.2 version manually. After that, we will see how to set up our development environment, some text editors such as PyCharm, and how to use Python idle, which is integrated development environment that you can use write our Python programs, and Sublime Text, etc. And finally, by now, seeing the usage of Jupyter Notebook, we will now begin our lessons gradually. Now, if you wish, let's open jupyter.org website. And try to download and install Jupyter Notebook. Let's first try to figure out what the Jupyter Notebook system is. So I can say in here, try it in your browser, as you can see in here, and I'm clicking on this button, and as you can see, try.jupyter.org is opened for me. In here, I want to open one of the sample documents. For example, I want to open named Welcome to Python Notebook, as you can see. When I click on this, a notebook named Welcome to Python is opened for me. Actually, the main goal of the Jupyter Notebook is we can get the nodes that we want in here, and at the same time we can run our Python codes in here. So by this aspect, this website is acting like a Python development environment. In this course, we will try to understand our working documents through the Jupyter Notebook system, and we will type our notes in here, and then we will run our codes in here. For example, if I want to run a code in here, how can I run it? I simply click on the cell where this code is located. Let's run this code if you wish. I'm click on the run button in here. We have run this code and it has generated a figure, as you can see. Actually, right now we were able to run this code as if it was working on our local computer. And now the result has come by using our Jupyter Notebook system. We can write both notes, and here we can run our codes easily. We will try to create your own Jupyter Notebooks if you wish. So I'm closing this window. I'm selecting Leave Page. And I'm coming in here and create a new document. I'm clicking on the Python 3 option in here because I will be developing Python 3 and I'm clicking on it. As you can see, a new blank document is opened, and now Python 3 has been opened for us, and we will give a name to this notebook at first. I write first lecture and I'm clicking on the rename. As you can see, I can change the title of this document. What we can do now in here, I want to write a markdown as an explanation, not a code in here. So I'm changing this code to markdown and I write welcome to Python programming. So what do I need to do? See this note in here. For doing this, when I press the run cell button, as you can see, when I do this, as you can see, my note will be executed and now saved on the Jupyter Notebook system. So let's write another explanation. Let's say that, how are you in this time? And I'm changing it markdown again. Then let's run this cell again. In here, we are actually writing our code or explanation into a cell. Then we click on the run cell button to execute our cell. As you can see, our explanation is written on the screen. So let's start to write our first Python code if you wish. Let's see it on the Jupyter Notebook in here. For example, I want to say that print welcome to Python. And actually, I wrote the printing command on the screen right here. Let's look at what will be the result. So I'm clicking on the run cell button again. When I run this, our code is executed and the result of this code is now on the screen, as you can see. So I mean, in fact, we could save this code to a file on our computer, but in here we have a much more practical way of running it. We can get our notes and we can run our Python codes in here. For example, if you want to write something like print hello, and let's write just below print world. When we write something like this, we have just write hello world and we have two print commands in here. And in here I can execute by clicking on the run cell button, but there is a more practical shortcut by pressing Shift plus Enter. I can run this cell this way too. When I press Shift Enter, we can see that our codes are working. So we will write both our notes here and we will be able to run our codes perfectly. That's so simple. If you wish, we can see how to download and install the Jupyter Notebook into our local computer now. So I'm closing this window. I'm clicking on Leave Page and come back to this page again. Now, in order to download Jupyter Notebook, first I'm coming to the Install Notebook download page. I'm clicking on this. Then our download page has opened. However, in order to install Jupyter Notebook, Python 3.6 and other packages in a bulk, I will use the Anaconda distribution, which will have downloaded all at once. we are clicking here to download Anaconda distribution. And then the page of our Anaconda distribution has opened for me. I can download the installations for the different operating systems that I want here. I can download the 64-bit or 32-bit setup file for Windows operating system in here. I can download the download file for the Mac operating system, or download the 64-bit or 32-bit installers for Linux operating system. I will download the Windows 64-bit installer here because I will run on the Windows operating system here. However, if you're using different operating system like Mac OS or Linux, you can install it if you want. Now, if you wish, we can start the downloading this file now. I have downloaded this file on my computer before, so I will not download this setup file. Once you download this file, you can continue to our video. So now I'm closing this window. And yes, if you downloaded the installation file, we can continue our video. Now, I'm coming to the Anaconda setup file on my desktop and run this file. I'm clicking on Run button in here. And as you can see, we see that a setup screen first. I'm clicking on this Next button in here. And I'm going on. I'm accepting the license agreement and I'm clicking on the I agree button in here. I'm clicking on Next button again and I'm selecting where I want to install our Anaconda. And in this screen, I'm selecting where I want to install our program. I have selected where I want to our program and I'm clicking on Next. You can select default location or you can select wherever you want to install it. So I have selected Python folder in here. And I'm clicking on the Next button again. And now this screen is quite important, so I recommend you to listen carefully. Now we select for the first option in here and we uncheck the second option. By checking the first option, we will be able to access to start our Jupyter notebook from the command line. But by not selecting the second option, we will be able to install Python 3.5.2 as the default Python version of our computer. So I'm selecting for the first option and I'm not selecting the second option. And I want to start installation by clicking on the install button in here. But it's a time-taking operation again. So now I'm pausing the video until the installation is completed. And yes, our installation has accomplished. And now we have a local working Jupyter notebook and Python 3.6.1 version successfully installed to our computer. If you want to terminate the installation by saying the next, I'm clicking on the next button in here. As you can see, our installation has completed. I'm unchecking these and click on the finish button in here. And now let's try to find out how we will run the Jupyter notebook now. We have a command line or CMD on our computer, as you know. However, if you are using a Mac or Linux operating system, you can perform these operations from your terminal. Now I'm opening the command line on my computer. So I'm writing cmd and press enter. In here, I have to write something to start my Jupyter notebook. To be able to run our Jupyter notebook, I just write Jupyter space notebook. And when I run it by pressing enter button, my Jupyter notebook is opened. This may take a bit longer when you are working for the first time. Don't worry, you have to wait for a little for that. And yes, now we have started our Jupyter notebook. Our Jupyter notebook is currently running under localhost 888/3 and Jupyter graphical interface is automatically opened in our browser. If this screen does not open automatically in your browser, don't worry. You can open simply that line, just copy and paste into your browser. As you can see in here, Jupyter Notebook is opened again. But when you install successfully Jupyter Notebook system, it will be opened automatically on your browser. In addition, when we download and install Anaconda, we have also installed the Anaconda command line on our computer. So I'm closing it now. I'm closing my browser and I want to open the Anaconda command line and run the Jupyter Notebook from here. So I'm closing it and I'm coming in here and I'm writing Anaconda prompt. The Anaconda command line will show up, as you can see. Anaconda command line, it's a little bit slow opening, so you may need to wait a little bit. We can also run the command line here. The command line has opened on the screen, as you can see. So if I write Jupyter space notebook to my Anaconda command line, and when I press enter, then my Jupyter Notebook will be open itself again. As you can see, our Jupyter Notebook is working with this way too. You can run it from here or you can run it from your command line. I'm saying that for Windows operating system, of course. If you're using another operating system, you can run it from your terminal in case of you're using Mac or Linux operating system. And if you wish, let's look at the interface of Jupyter Notebook now. As you can see, my local files are listed as shown in here. And if I want to create a new file anywhere that I wanted on my computer, I'm coming in here, I'm clicking on the new option. And I'm specifying that I want to create a Python 3 notebook, so I'm clicking on it. When I have created this, it will come up a blank Jupyter Notebook which named Untitled for me. I can change this name. Now I can write my code or whatever I want in here and run it. For instance, if I want to write print hello world, and run it by pressing Shift Enter or clicking on the Run Cell button in here, now my code is working, as you can see. Keep in mind that we are going to continue our lessons through these Jupyter notebooks. You can download the working documents that I have created for you into your computer and run these codes through these Jupyter notebooks easily. You can download and customize these notebooks as well. In our next lessons, we will see how to download and install Python 3.5.2 to our computer. So that's all for now. Take care of yourself. See you in our next lesson.